Project Management Insights, providing project managers with professional development in the interpersonal skills areas of leadership, team building, and communication. How do you deal with people that are passive-aggressive on your team? Do you know what it's like? They're the people that appear to be disagreeing with whatever you've said in the team meeting, and they don't openly express that they're unhappy or uncomfortable or they don't like what you've said, and yet you can hear it in their voice. They get quite aggressive in the way that they respond to perhaps someone else's comment or to something that you say. They become very, very disagreeable with what's being discussed. And as I said, in a very slight manner, a way that you just sense yourself that it's not really their truth that they're expressing. How do you deal with those people? Well, one of the best things that you can do is to acknowledge them. Acknowledge that you heard what they said. They oftentimes will have a want or something that they want to express, and they don't feel able to do that. And so by acknowledging them, at least you are halfway there to them, seeing that you are on their side rather than against them. And this might make a difference to the way that they interact in the future. They might be more inclined to talk to you. How do you deal with the blockers, those people that will tell you the negative side of anything and everything that you are planning to do? They can be the most frustrating people to deal with and to work with, because all they do is give you the negative side of the whole approach that you have to managing a project. This I found was very frustrating at times. What I wanted from them was support and input, and all I got was why it wouldn't work. And my approach to dealing with these sorts of people is to ask them, run past them my ideas first before I took them to a team meeting. Because what would happen is they would tell me why it wouldn't work, and they generally had some genuine reasons as to why it wouldn't work. And what I then got from that was to talk to them about their opinions and their ideas on what would work. Funnily enough, they oftentimes have a lot of knowledge about the business, the area, the processes, whatever it is that you're dealing with in relation to these people, these blockers, and they don't often share it, or they're not listened to in a way that has them feel, I suppose, appreciated for the knowledge and understanding that they do have of the business, the area, the way that things operate. So my tip for dealing with these people is to acknowledge the knowledge that they hold and ask them for their advice or suggestion. I've found that it really, really helps. How do you deal with the controllers? Those people in your team that just seem to want to control everything. In a team meeting, they speak up loud, they're very, very pushy, they have very strong opinions, they won't listen to anybody else or anybody else's ideas. This makes it really difficult sometimes to hold a team meeting, because these people like to hold the floor and they won't listen to anybody else. The way to, or one approach to dealing with these sorts of people is to say that you are going to take the discussion offline. You can also acknowledge them, acknowledge that you've heard them, and tell them that you'll discuss it further with them later on outside the meeting. Taking it offline helps to diffuse the emotion that's generally coded, or I suppose that's part of their reactions to whatever's going on in the team meeting. And I've often found that they can also be quite aggressive, so they might turn into passive aggressive type at times. in their reactions as well. And so, again, acknowledging them and having them feel that what you've said is being heard, it makes a difference to them in the longer term, I've noticed. And how do you deal with the needy types? Those people that simply are there wanting your attention pretty much all the time. You might ask them to do something, they come, they tell you that they don't know how to do it, they don't know what to do, they want your advice on how to do it. They just seem really, really needy. And these people can really wear you down, because what you notice is that just at those times when you're at your most stressed or you're most under pressure, they seem to be around more often than not. And it can get really, really wearing. This is what I've noticed anyway. So how do you deal with those people? Well, to me, the best thing that's worked has been to give them 15 minutes of my undivided attention. Sounds a bit crazy, I know, but if you imagine that they're like a small child who is, tugging on their mother or their father's coattails, mummy, daddy, it's like that. And if you turn around and give that child your undivided attention for 15 minutes, talk to them about their concerns. This is not about giving them advice and telling them how to do something. It's about talking to them about what they think the issue is around them completing a task, for example. Then it's a very different thing. You'll find if you do this that they will then tend to go away and be okay and not want to interact with you for a couple of hours in the best case scenario. And so it's a way of having them feel important, that you understand them, that you want to interact with them, and yet you are not giving up a lot of your time. And whilst it might seem when you're under pressure and stressed that 15 minutes of your time is too much, believe me, if you give them that 15 minutes, you are going to save a lot more of your time rather than having them be around and hanging off you for quite some time. So what other sorts of types of characters do you have in your team that are difficult to manage and difficult to deal with? I'm interested to find out so that I can add some more modules to the training I've just developed. I have just completed the training of dealing with difficult team members, and it does deal with these 4 particular types of characters or behaviours. It explains and helps you understand why the people in your team display these types of characteristics, and then provides you with a number of tips and ideas and suggestions of different ways of interacting with them in order to get them on side and working with you rather than creating and disrupting the team overall. So if you're interested in having a look at the training, go to Project Management Insight /difficult team members, difficult-team-members, and you can read all about the training, what's included. There is a deal running at the moment that the training is only $97 until 97 Australian dollars until the end of May. So if you do want to take up the opportunity to undertake the training, then jump in now to grab that discount. Otherwise, it will be there for later on, perhaps another time when you have time and space to go and work through the 6 modules that are in the training package. Till next time. Thank you for listening to this Project Management Insights podcast. Be sure to visit projectmanagementinsight.com and sign up for our monthly newsletter or to receive updates on upcoming training.